Hey everybody, hi, it's Rob from Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Video number 2, November 9th, 2023. Just did another 45-minute video, the first one of the day, talking more about my mom who passed away earlier this week and how this stuff is a distraction from me and how I want to just remember her for all the fun and good times we had and wonderful things, and not her having deteriorated over the last 10 years. And this is a good distraction for me. That's why I'm doing these videos, and by no means am I taking it lightly and just like flippantly moving on. These help me get through the day for the sadness, and I'm just trying to enjoy remembering her and the wonderful woman she was. So I went shopping today, took the day off so that I can help unwind after working basically a month nonstop, and then the last 2 days were like super busy for me. And like I said, the busiest day of the year for me was the day that she actually died. And I found out right when I got to work. So that was a pretty bad day, but kept busy that day with work, and I had that as a distraction, and had other things I had to do yesterday as well. Once I was done with that, I was finally able to take some time off and got some good sleep. Finally, last night I got a full night's sleep, which I haven't been sleeping well for weeks now. Only getting like 4, 5, 6 hours sleep if I'm lucky. So I got some sleep. I got the day to myself, and my wife had to go to work today. She's taking off tomorrow. I get tomorrow off as well because it's Veterans Day. But so today I just had a day to myself, and got up and cleaned up, and I was hungry, so I needed to go get some food. And I go to some of these baseball card shops and just do some stuff that I've been wanting to do when I had some free time that wasn't just on the weekend. So I went to the card shop they had at the Westgate Mall here in San Jose, and I did pick up that 2015 Gypsy Queen hobby box that they had sitting there when I got the 2015 Allen & Ginter hobby box. So I made a deal with him for that hobby box and a bunch of packs of cards and these rack packs that had the Andre Dawsons in them. I got 2 of them here. They were wanting like 25. Now these are 84 tops, so it's not like that's obviously overpriced in my opinion, but I was able to get these 2 that had Andre in them, plus 10 packs of 80s wax. I already opened this in the last video, and the only thing we got out of there was the Burt Bly 11. Hall of Famer, I believe. And other than that, we got nothing out of this one. But so we got 10 wax packs, 2 of these, and they had Andre Dawson in both of them as an all-star. So one I can keep in the pack, one I can open, and then all this other wax. So you know, what he was asking for the Gypsy Queen box, I got the Gypsy Queen box plus all this stuff for that price, and in cash. So it was just an even amount. Didn't have to pay any more like other fees, let's just say. All right, so got this, and this is an 54 baseball picture cards Topps rack pack with an 83 All-Star Game commemorative card. Collect 22 in the set. Details on back. So this is the +1 is the All-Star card. So Andre Dawson was in the 83 All-Star Game, and so his All-Star commemorative card, which these are always nice. I think they're the glossies. Andre Dawson's my PC guy. So I'm glad to have that. Let's see, on the back you got Craig Lefters. It's upside down. Larry Gura and Willie Atkins. Let's see, who's the 80? I believe this is Tom Mattingly's rookie year. I don't know, maybe Ryan Sandberg, I'm not sure. It's been a long time, folks, since I've done anything pre-86. Alright, so here we go. Topps 83 All-Star Game commemorative set. I hope I finished my thought of what I was talking about earlier. But anyways, an exclusive set of 22 glossy photo quality cards depicting the starting lineups, captains, and managers of the 83 American and National League All-Star teams. Each Topps, there you go, rack pack contains one card from a series. From this series, collect your full 22 set of 22. 84 Topps chewing gum, Uray, Pennsylvania. So anyways, yeah, I was like, oh, I need to go get some food, and I'll go pick up some cards. I was going to go to the bookstore and maybe get some more Ginter, but I was like, I've done a lot of that lately, so I'll go to that shop and at the mall and see if they still got those Gypsy Queen, which they did, and they had this other stuff, is what I was driving at. Then I was thinking of going to the hobby shop after the fact. So originally I was going to go to that shop, see if they had the Gypsy Queen, and then I was going to go to the bookstore, see if they had any Ginters or anything new. Then right down the street, next just a few blocks, is one hobby shop, see what they got. Maybe I was going to see if they had any Allen Ginter X. Not likely, but it's possible. I could probably call these people, but I'm a hunter. People like to get out of the house. I get tired of being at home all the time. So I like to go out and look for stuff. I don't just want to order everything off of eBay. I'm still a hunter for cards. So this is why I do it, because you come across stuff like this. It's like, I would have never thought to look this up on eBay, or it wouldn't have been as much fun to get it as it is to actually find it in the store. Oh wow, there's Andre Dawson, sweet, you know. So then I left. So I bought this stuff, walked over to the Target that's at that mall. Sort of a mall. It's not a great mall, but Target had Zip Zero, like a few hockey repack boxes and some more garbage. So I left there, and I was like, oh, maybe I should get some King Egg Roll, which, oh my god, they got the best little shrimp balls and a little chicken, and their egg rolls are pretty good for California. But then I was like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to try this Korean corn dog place, and I'd seen that there's supposedly one by my work somewhere, but I've never been able to find it. And there's a Japanese hot dog stand up the street, and they got really good hot dogs. And I've seen some of these Korean corn dog places where they have like potatoes and the batter or sugar and all these different kinds. And like a week ago, I saw somebody eating one, and I was like, oh, where'd you get it? And they were like, oh, over at this place, and I couldn't remember the name. And they were like, oh, it's by Phil's. So me and the other guy, when we were at work, we stopped at the coffee shop, and I looked for that place, and it wasn't there. And I was like, huh, oh, maybe they meant the Phil's down the street. So I drove past that the other day, and yep, there it was, that little place. So after I left this place, I went over there. Of course, all the high school kids were getting out of school, so I had to wait in line. And I got me one of the regular corn dogs, which was okay. And then they had like the cheese dog that had a hot dog in it, so it was mozzarella. I tried that. That was pretty good. They got all kinds of sauces. They're like $5 each. But I'll go back and try one of those potato ones someday. And all that. So it was pretty good. So I went there, and when I left there, I was like, oh, I need to go get her gas. Stop at the 7-Eleven. And then maybe I should go get some food for dinner. And so I was like, oh, I'll stop at 7-Eleven. When I was done with that, I'm like, I just got to go to Costco and get some gas. That was the other thing. I was thinking of going to Costco to see if they had any more of the flagship collection ones. But once I got all this stuff, I was like, I just want to go home. So that's what I did. Came home, did the first video, and now we're gonna do this video. So what do you guys say? Should we open this rack one? I decided to save this, open this one, because this one I'll keep in the rack pack. Mostly because it's got another Hall of Famer. You know, this card has Johnny Bench, Gaylord Perry, and Carl Yastrzemski on the back. So it's got 3 Hall of Famers on this card. And then, of course, Hall of Famer Andre Dawson, my favorite guy on this one. So I can keep this. And let's see what one of these rack packs has. Oh, I know. Let's hold off on this, because I got this eBay that I've been got in the mail today. So let's do the eBay. I'm pretty sure I know what this one is, though. This is from Molalla, Oregon. All right. And this, actually, you know what? Maybe I should wait on this. You know what, folks? I apologize. I'm going to wait on this until I get to the hobby box that I have later. There's a hint for you, an Easter egg, because that would be more in line with opening that. So I can have patience. So we'll do these. We'll do this rack pack and then these 3. And then we'll see where we're at time-wise. And go from there. So, sorry to do this, folks. If you're like, no, don't open the rack pack. You know, save it for another 30 years and maybe you can get another $20 out of it. Nope. I'm going to get my Andre Dawson card one way or another, folks. And to be honest with you, I never really got to open up a whole lot of stuff in the earlier 80s. Maybe when I was in Little League, I'd get a few here and there, but most of the kind of cards I would get was the stuff they gave you at Burger King or Captain Crunch, you know. Dagnabbit, folks. Oh my God. Alright, everybody. We're going to move this off the screen. Oh no, I opened the wrong pack. I opened the one that had the Hall of Famers on the back. Dagnabbit. Oh well, that's okay, folks. Stuff happens. The guy said he's got boxes and boxes of these kind of things, so maybe I'll get that one that has a Hall of Famer on the front. I don't care. I just wanted one of them to be in the rack pack, and as long as it has Andre Dawson, that's what I cared about. So this looks pretty decent. Center. Oh, it's got a little stain going on here. I don't know what happened there. Backs are looking really nice. Steve Henderson. See, folks, you rushed me. See, this is why my videos take an hour, because you rush me and I screw up. Am I gaslighting you, folks? Change the channel to Ode Style. Ode Time Gaslighting. Alan Wiggins. Alright, here's a rest in peace, but Eric Shaw, the dude that plunked Andre Dawson in the face in 1987, cost him all kinds of games, and, you know, 100% chance of being over 50 home runs that year. I guess they had some issues before, maybe, or he had a lot of issues with other players. He was, I have a feeling he was like an old school pitcher, kind of like Nolan Ryan, not as good by any means, I don't think. But I mean in the sense, like, he's the kind of guy dude that would brush you back or plunk you if your guy showed up another pitcher, or, you know, like the retaliatory kind of pitcher. And so I think that's why the whole brawl took place with him and Andre Dawson. Um, but nevertheless, you don't wish anything bad. But the guy, I believe he died from drugs. Um, so I do feel bad for him. I'm just pissed that he cost Andre Dawson a chance at 50 plus home runs when 50 home runs was a once in 20 year kind of deal for the whole league, more or less a person. So got a little soft corners there, but Eric Shaw, you're gonna get your day in the sun today. Rest in peace, man. I'm sure he was just being a tough guy, like a tough pitcher, and I know he felt bad because they showed him, and of course Andre wanted to kill him at the time, but 349 there. He was only in the league, so he started looks like in 81. So he was like 5, 6, let's say 5 years into his career when he plunked Dawson. So he was a young veteran. But obviously he played for a while, so he had to be good enough not to just be shipped down. So there you go, Eric Shaw, Bob Welch. I heard them talking at the hobby shop that I almost went to today. One of the guys was like a neighbor, or his dad was friends with this guy, and knew him down in LA. And I tried to jump in the conversation because I was like, Bob Welch, not the guy from Fleetwood Mac. And they were like, what? What are you talking about? So apparently they only knew baseball. They didn't know rock and roll because I believe 99% Bob Welch was the singer who was in Fleetwood Mac before Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks joined. And when he quit, not this guy, but the guy named Bob Welch, you would know him from that song Sentimental Lady. That's probably his most popular song and it was a Fleetwood Mac song, Sentimental Lady, and I know he did it as a solo art, later in the 70s. So he had a pretty decent hit for that guy, and it's a pretty good song. Definitely the light rock era of Fleetwood Mac. Dave Gazelle. So the backs on these ones, they're pretty cool. Wow, Von Hayes. See, that's how many 84s that I opened. I don't even realize he was that early. I thought he was kind of a rookie around 87. Mr. Lonnie Smith with the Cardinals down the side. That's Jeff Reardon. I don't know. Is he a Hall of Famer? I'm not sure. Alexa, is Jeff Reardon in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame?
Jeff Reardon is not a part of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
Some bad centering, especially on the back. You can see it's low on the top and thick on the bottom, but on side to side on the back. Alright, and then we got Steve McCaddy, Gene Garber. This is when I liked Flagship back in the day. Then the 90s came, and it's just, I don't know, it's gone downhill for me. Not a super fan of Flagship. I will pick some up just to have a little bit of it every year, but they make so much Flagship, and people buy and store and collect like boxes and boxes, and like you can buy them at Target. So the only reason you would buy packs is if you're a kid and didn't have a lot of money to buy a whole box and just have it over with, or hunting for the hits, which of course is what I would be doing, and kind of hedging my bet that maybe I'd get the whoever version of Mike Trout's rookie card would be that year. Can't possibly have it unless you actually buy something, and I don't collect Flagship, and I'm not going to buy like complete sets just to have, because that's what most Flagship collectors do, probably. Alright, so here's a good card coming up. So had I not opened this rack pack, this would have been a good one for somebody 50 years down the road to have been like, oh man, we're going to get an Andre Dawson, we're going to get a Yastrzemski bench, Gaylord Perry card. Wonder what's inside of there, and boom, you would have got yourself another Hall of Famer. Pretty decent looking card there. Maybe a little heavy on the top, but Jim Palmer Hall of Famer for sure. The back centering, you could tell a little bit different, but it's, you know, would you say 60-40? This side 60, this side 40, so that means, but it doesn't really, it's kind of the opposite on the back. I don't know, that's pretty good centering on that card. Pretty sharp corners. Smell test, I don't smell any gum, so there's a winner, Jim Palmer. That should be top loaded. As a fact of the matter. Got a couple extra top loaders just sitting around here, so let's see. Reading glasses, depth perception. And I believe that group of 68 cards that I told you about when I was a kid that I found in the antique cabinet, one of those I believe is Jim Palmer. I always thought it was his rookie. It might be. I'm fairly certain. Don't hold me to it though. Terry Poole, Mike Krucko, who was a pretty solid pitcher back in the day. Well, he seemed like it at least. Billy Allman. So these cards are a little faded looking, like the color just isn't bright, but it's like, it's not like they were sitting in the sun. These are the inside cards, so must have just been the design that or the print quality. Alright, let's try to do this a little careful, folks. Alright. Hopefully we can pull the Andre Dawson base card. Or one of the rookies, the good rookies. Just gotta get it going. There we go. Let's try and have it. It's more the gravity, people. It's everything wants to fall this way. All right, a little impatient right now, so I'm gonna put that down. Just bust this open, so I don't have to mess with that again. Smell test, smells like old cardboard or like a dusty room. No baseball, no bubblegum smell. Lee Mazzilli, Larry Gura, Tony Armas, Dave Dravecki. Remember Dave Dravecki? Claudel Washington's coming out here, folks. Appear to me why switch. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Pardon me, everybody. I was unprepared. Had to get one of these instead. And a drink. Bob's your uncle. I'll be right back with you, folks. It's a little gloomy today, and like it's warm, but it's a little gloomy out. Claudel Washington. I guess I could start putting these down here since I adjusted the camera. Alright. Jeff Jones. Tippy Martinez. Gotta love that name. Tippy. Got the Fernando haircut. Jesse Orozco. Jay McLaughlin. Blue Jays. Mickey Rivers. Rangers. Frank White, Bob Ojeda, not Dale Murphy, but Dale Murray. Think he has any relation to Bill? Bob Gritch. So far this rack pack has not been great as far as other than Jim Palmer and Dawson card. Jesse Barfield. Now definitely that retirees Hall of Fame card. Those are obviously going up in value. Like those cards would have been like like all-star cards. People really didn't care too much about them, and especially like Turn Back the Clock or League Leaders, or these three guys are retiring cards. In the past, people were like, it's no big deal. But now, with like the Mickey Mantle cards being hard to come by, or Clemente and Mays, if you can find a card that has those guys on it, people like me who don't, I like Mickey Mantle, but I don't collect Mickey Mantle. I'm not one of these guys who want to collect Mickey Mantle. I don't want a 52 Mantle. I don't care. It's just not for me. Would I take one if somebody gave it to me, or if I won it or something, or if it was like, oh dude, hey, I need a $200 immediately because I gotta hop on this bus to run away to Mexico before the cops catch me or something like that. Here, I can't do anything with this card down there. Would you give me $200 for it? Sure, I'm not stupid. But it's not my chase card. But if I could get like a Mickey Mantle that was like $60 and it had him and like Joe Blow on it or Willie Mays or something like that, and it was like $100 card, and then I could be like, okay, I got a mantle, a playing days mantle, then yeah. But it's not my era. I prefer the older era, which is more turn of the century, tobacco era, and then like this era on the 60s and 50s, 60s, and 70s. Not as much. I like the whole Babe Ruth and before era, and Lou Gehrig and all that, Joe DiMaggio, and the 50s and 60s and a lot of the 70s. I don't dislike. I just don't really collect. That's probably a pretty bad stretch of time for the Cubs, and obviously even the 80s, 90s, and 2000s were a bad stretch for the Cubs too, but at least I was alive and being able to see the games. So anyways, I like really old, like Ty Cobb era stuff, or since basically, let's just say the 1980 is my personal era of baseball, so up to today. The stuff in between there, it's not that I'm not interested in it. I do pick up a little of it here and there, and it's not that I couldn't afford to collect it if I wanted, but that's what everyone's doing. I've never been like, oh yeah, I gotta do the 50s and 60s stuff. No, I would rather it have T206s or Allen and Ginter. But I'm not gonna waste my whole life just chasing a few cards, or just trying to, I want to just get that one Mickey Mantle and a 7, or that Ernie Banks, have a 3, but I need to get a 7, and then I want to complete that set or something like that. That's not the way I collect. I like the players that I like. I like the kind of cards that I like, and I like those cards. I think the 60s cards are beautiful. Some of those 50 cards are nice, But I just don't want to do what everyone else is doing. I would do that stuff more like the guys who collect like the, let's say like the post cereal cards, or the dog food cards, and the wiener cards, and the red man cards, and the oddball stuff, because that's what cards are to me originally. This is the oddball for baseball cards, really. This is not how baseball cards started. This is what it turned into. But to me, baseball cards were stuff that came with this. You know, you would get this inside of there or on the box or something like that. That's baseball cards. Came with cigarettes. Okay, they can't do cigarettes anymore. You know, so hey, caramel cards, right? That's baseball cards, in my opinion. This stuff is Johnny come lately, and I don't care if you talk about it's about getting gum or stickers or puzzle pieces. No, it's about the cards. So, I believe maybe that's when it kind of shifted, was more in that late 40s, 50s era, and so I would be more into the old oddball stuff. Would I like 52 mantle? Sure. Am I out to ever get one? No. Do I care if I get it or not? No. Would I like to have an Ernie Banks card from there? Yeah. Am I trying to get one? No. If I came across one, would I get it? If it was reasonable. Would I like to have any Redman card? Yep. Would I pursue one? If I seen it, absolutely. So if you put the Banks and the Redman of some guy I don't know, and let's say it's both the same year, I don't know. I'm just using this as an example. Let's say this was 1957, and I could get a Redman Joe Blow with the tab in okay shape, or the Ernie Banks graded or ungraded, I don't care. Let's say it's a 4 or a 5. Both of them are equal. Me as a Cubs fan, I want the Ernie Banks card. Me as a baseball card collector, an oddball kind of guy, I want the Redman. Now, if I only have, they're offering both for $100. You know, the logical part of me says go for the Ernie Banks. The collector in me says go for this. So, yeah, it's a tough choice. If they're both worth $100, that would be a tough call. I may go with the Banks because I know the Banks, but if you say, hey, here's a $20 Chicago Cub, 1957 Topps, who was a decent guy, not great, or you could get Joe Blow Redman card for $40, and he was decent, but you don't really know who he is. This one's in a little better quality, a grade higher, whether it's graded or not, than this. I'll pay the extra 20 and go for that every day. When you put me on the spot where it's like, okay, Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, something like that, then maybe I would lean towards this, because that seems like the logical, smart choice. But when it's not my team or my emotional connection to a player or something like that, I'm going with this every day. I'll pay the extra $20 to have that Redman card at a slightly lower quality than this card that, hey, you know, if I had this card and it's like a 7 and I could probably sell it for twice what I paid for it because somebody's trying to put that in together in a set, and that's one of the high numbers that people have trouble getting, I'll take the Redman because I'm not a seller. I would like to help somebody complete their set, but this is the baseball card to me that I like. This is the kind of cards I like. So, anyways, sorry folks, I went off on another tangent. Alright, so that middle pack had zip, squat, diddly do. I mean, unless you saw something in there that I didn't catch. Nice cards, some centering issues, typical 80s. Alright, so Andre, I screwed up and we're going to get the good pack. And you're coming out. So for me, if you were like, oh, would you rather have the 83 All-Star Andre Dawson Topps flagship card or a Wade, a Mickey Thatcher or 1976 MSA Joe Blow Isley disc. I'm obviously going to go for Dawson, you know what I mean, because that's my guy. But I would probably find a way of buying the other one too. So, alright, I'm just going to rip this open so as not to have any issue with bending that Andre Dawson card. So there you go. Nothing left in there, folks, in case you couldn't tell. Just didn't want any of you to think that I was dipping. Why you dip? Because they're my cards. So, see, I already got a ding on this one anyway, so that's already got a bent corner. And it's got a little slight chip, but that's okay. On these white cards, you can't tell so much. So maybe I did good by opening this pack instead of the other one. Because if this other one's in better shape, then this is just going into a binder. But I will top load it immediately to protect it. So, and this one's pretty bad off-centered, so this one over here has got better centering. So to be honest with you, I think it was better to leave this rack pack because this one looks better. It's got better centering. It doesn't look like it's got any issues, like with the corner and all that. So, the only thing I'm trading for is, you can see some scratching on there, So this is going to be a wallflower, so to speak, in a binder. And I'm glad to have it, This one's better centered, so this actually, in this form, would just present better, I think. So I think I got lucky. Maybe my mom was like saying, no, I've become an expert in cards now, and this is, maybe she led me there. Hey, you're gonna get some Andre Dawson stuff. I know you like that. Here's me guiding you. Maybe I'll get an Andre Dawson something special in that Gypsy Queen box. So that's off-centered. It's got just a little chip right here. Obviously, rack packs don't store even as well as wax packs because they get banged around a lot. But they're cool to see. But I want to have the card in my hand because I don't care about grading. I want to feel the texture of the card, and these are the glossies. It's not super glossy like the Sendaway ones, but that's a cool card. I would love to have this in my collection. Goes right into the binder. I love those backs. So cards like these and the other commemorative Sendaway premiums, and then like the little box cards like Kmart and stuff like that, just proves that Topps could make good cards. They just didn't. In the sense that they could make higher quality cards. Obviously, to do flagship, you're going to have to do something a little lower quality to maintain the price point. But it just proved that back then they could do glossy and fancier cards back then. Look at Topps Tiffany or Update. And then any of those little box packs that they give away. And occasionally they did some really nice stuff like in cereal boxes like the 84 Purina cards. So super cool backs. Those always pretty much stayed the same, just different year. I'm stoked to have that card. Boom, another Andre Dawson, folks. Alright, let's get on with this. Aurelio Rodriguez. Stuck to. Hey, we got another Hall of Famer, so sports card investor opening this out of a PSA, cracking this out of this rack pack out of a PSA thing in 40 years from now. paying $1 million or $20,000 to open this rack pack. Would have got the Andre Dawson, would have got the Jim Palmer, and then they would probably, let's say they're looking for the Mattingly, but he came across this card and he would have been like, oh wow, we hit it out of the park, look at that, we got this. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. These cards, when this came out, were basically not next to guard. I mean, you would have got your base filler stuff like this guy. And then you would have got this and been like, oh, well, that's cool. I mean, it's got Wade Boggs on it. I like Wade, I'm a Wade Boggs collector. And, I'll put that like at the end of my little collection of all these kind of multiple cards. But now, like I was just talking about the Mickey Mantle stuff, if you can get Mickey Mantle with whatever version of Bob Ojeda was at the time, this card, in comparison, let's say 1980, the Mickey Mantle, let's just pick a year, 68. Let's say that Mickey Mantle card in near mint was $100. I'm just using this as an example. The Mickey Mantle with whoever the other guy is on the team that's not like Roger Maris or Willie Mays or something like that was like $5. Now the Mickey Mantle card is, let's say it's $1,000, and then the card that would be like this is like $200. You know what I mean? So it went from being like 5% as valuable as his main card to 20%. So these cards in the future are the future for a lot of people. A lot of collectors that would never be able to get that $1,000 card would be like, well, I would love to have the $200 Wade Boggs. And Bob Ojeda is not a bad name either, so plus it's got the Red Sox team on the back, so that checks off a lot of different things for people who are collectors. And it's a good looking card, and it seems to be in pretty good shape. So there you go, another Hall of Famer. And then look at what we got next. Boom, there's the Tony Gwynn. And I don't think that's his rookie card. No, I believe this is his second year card. Alexa, what year's Tony Gwynn's rookie card?
From sportscollectorsdaily.com. You can find value in 1982 Topps Cal Ripken rookie cards, both as number 21
Alexa,
in the regular set.
What is Tony Gwynn's rookie card?
Tony Gwynn debuted in 1982.
Alexa, what is Topps' first Tony Gwynn card?
From WordPress.com.
Have it.
His first Topps card was in the 1987 Topps traded set. He played a few games in 1986, but didn't
Alexa,
get a Topps
stop.
card until...
Alright, let's try old Google here. Tony Gwynn rookie card, Topps. Yeah, so 83. So this second year card. But still, I mean, boom, Andre, Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, and Tom Seaver in this rack pack. So you should expect to have at least 5 good cards in a rack pack. But with Topps, you just never know. Lamar Hoyt, Mark Thurmond. Alright, we got another multiplayer card. Boom, look at Bob's Your Uncle again. So there we go. Same difference. Now, not as big of names, but Rod Carew, Hall of Famer. George Brett. Cecil Cooper was a solid player. Alexa, Cecil Cooper in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Cecil Cooper, a former baseball player, has not been inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Alexa, is Bob Ojeda in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Bob Ojeda is not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
But still, look at that, people. Here you get 2 Hall of Famers. This one you get 1 Hall of Famer. I mean, and since they're not, I mean, obviously you want the person's individual card. It's kind of like a baseball. Why people only want one person signed baseball instead of like multiple. You know, like if I could get Tony Gwynn or Wade Boggs and Roger Clemens to sign the same baseball when they were playing when you were a kid, why is it less valuable than just a Roger Clemens by himself or Wade Boggs? I mean, you're getting two Hall of Famers, but I guess you're kind of eliminating maybe some of the just Wade Boggs collectors or the just Roger Clemens. I guess Roger Clemens not Hall of Famer, but you get what I'm getting at. But there you go. Couldn't afford George Brett card from this year. You know, pay the $50 for that. You could get this card back in the day for like 70 cents. And now the $50 card and this one would be like $5. But still, the value of these has definitely gone up, is my point. So don't throw away your multiplayer cards, especially with superstars and Hall of Famers. John Henry Johnson, Tom Needlefuhr, Lloyd Mosley. So these are the normal, the base set All-Star cards. So there's your regular flagship All-Star card, and that's your commemorative All-Star card. These are limited strictly to the rack packs. That's the only place you can get them is on these. This is the base set All-Star cards. And then I don't know 100% about this year, but then you could also send away a certain number of those spring training giveaway cards or wrappers or whatever and order the commemorative All-Star premium cards that didn't have all the designs, just more like studio-ish but in action. And those were super nice cards, and I believe those were All-Stars as well. So there were either 2 sets of All-Star cards that you can get from Topps, or maybe even 3. Actually, let's look at the 87. It says so. By no means do I know that this is the same exactly for 84, but they're pretty consistent. I'm just going to get to the point where we get this little flap out, okay, folks? Okay, special offer, collector 6 special offer cards and order any one of 6 87 tin sets of All-Stars and Hot Prospects. So yeah, so I know this because I had that Andre Dawson and it got damaged. And so there's technically, at least in 87, would have been the same thing. You could have got a base All-Star card, the Rack Pack All-Star card, and then the commemorative All-Star card. And these and the commemorative were super cool. The commemorative is probably the rarest because you'd had to send away for that. This second rarest because you could only get them in the Rack Pack. And then this would be just however many you would get per pack, which of course they didn't have odds back then, but these would be more common. And it was just the same as these things. People just didn't care about it as much now. They would care a little bit more because instead of getting 2 guys and you just wanted this guy, but it was like, okay, your George Brett card was $5 and his All-Star card was $2. And then this card would have been 75 cents. So I got a bug haven't seen these bugs in a while. So I think the weather's changing and they kind of went away, but I've got one last hanger on. Alright, so already 50 minutes in and we've only done one rack pack. Wow, so I think we've done pretty good here, people. This was a definite winner of a rack pack. Now this one's got a little ding corner, but now in the day, you would have looked at this and been like, oh crap, I got a bunch of these multiplayer cards, so that sucks. But For all the reasons we've discussed today, it's better than getting, instead of just not getting any of these cards and just getting a bunch of this, like commons. You would definitely much rather have this than just common Joe Schmo. Because this isn't like a 50 set where, hey, it's hard to get this guy's card to complete the set. So in reality, you can get a bunch of these to complete a set. You're not going to have problems. And, this would be a good one because that's really well centered. And nothing against Charlie here. But if you're going to get anything now that these started to get value, you'd much rather have this. So there you go, Don Baylor and Ron Goodry. Alexa, is Don Baylor in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Don Baylor has not been inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
But he's a superstar. A well-known name and on the Yankees. Alexa, is Ron Goodry in the Hall of Fame?
No, Rooney isn't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Alexa, is baseball pitcher Ron Goodry in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
From lefthandedbaseball.com. He was recently voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I don't know if I trust her, so... Hey people, it looks like we're going to have to end this video after this little rack pack. Is Ron Goodry in the Hall of Fame? He's not in the Hall of Fame. Alright, but still solid. And it's a Yankees card. But nevertheless, Don could get in someday. So, and then the next one, boom, look at that. Same difference. So, Don Baylor, much like Dave Kingman, not in, but they get consideration, and some people think they will someday, but even if not, boom, Mike Schmidt, Hall of Famer. Alexa, is Tony Perez in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, Tony Perez is in the Hall of Fame. He was elected in 2000 and has been honored with this distinction for his outstanding career as a baseball player.
So look at this, people. So this one someday could be Hall of Famer. This one, you got two Hall of Famers, and this guy could someday make it, possibly. He's definitely borderline. But there you go. And we're not done yet. We already know that we're not done. Randy Johnson, but not the pitcher. Bob Meekum. Tucker Ashford. Sorry, Tucker and Bob, and moving along. Bobby Meekum. Whitey Herzog, I think he just made the Hall of Fame. Alexa, is Whitey Herzog in the Hall of Fame? Alexa, is Whitey Herzog in the Hall of Fame?
Whitey Herzog was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2010.
Yep, so
he got 87.5% of the vote.
Yeah, he went in the same day as Dawson. So him and Dawson were on the same Hall of Fame. Then a manager, Russ Dixon, and boom, Hall of Famers are all around. So, obviously, like I said, people would rather have their individual cards, but instead of just getting a bunch of this, look, that's the future of somebody's collection. Some kid who's fascinated with Mike Schmidt and Johnny Bench as much as you guys might be into Carl Yastrzemski and Rod Carew. That's their entry point. they're Wade Boggs, that they can't get the rookie Wade Boggs, or they go on an early Wade Boggs card. There you go. That could be their entry point. I mean, look at this we got. So I'm gonna wrap this video up with this, and then we'll come back and do some of those wax packs. Hall of Famer. That's 2. There's 3 more. That's 5 Hall of Famers. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and potentially the 13th. So 12 Hall of Famers and a superstar. And a popular guy with the Yankees, probably. So that rack pack, granted, 4 of these cards are multiplayer cards, which aren't as popular, and one's a manager. But regardless, these cards, 94, 2004, 2014, are just about to turn 40 years old in a few months. And you pull 12 Hall of Famers. And at least 1 superstar. Yeah, I'd say you that was an extraordinary rack pack. You could not ask for better. Back then, you might have been like, meh, these guys are good, but meh, who cares? Hey, I got a buddy, I'll give that to. He likes this guy. Oh, I'm interested in him because he was cool. Mike Schmidt, I know another guy who likes this, and George Brett, so-and-so's a big fan of him, and hey, I like Tony Gwynn, he might be something someday, and then you're like, okay, well, these 2, yeah, well, those are top loader, for me. But nowadays, prospecting 20, 30 years from now, and as nice a shape as those are, yeah, you did really good. And how many people back then were like, psh, I'll keep this, all this goes to Goodwill. Well, it's funny how things change. Alright, everybody, so I did it again. I went on too long. Woo! I'm gonna get my friend George back in here. Alright, everybody, thank you for watching Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards, opening the wrong rack pack of 84 tops, but it turned out to be a real banger, and it really only cost me like $11 or something like that. Alright, I'll be back in a minute.